Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. You are watching Bottomline Kenya right here on Look Up TV. And today on the show, we talk about the role of youth in politics. And we want you to engage with us. The big question today is how can we raise youth to take up positions of leadership? Engage with us using the SMS number 20374. And you can also engage with us on our social media platform at Look Up TV on Twitter, Facebook, and Look Up TV on YouTube. And to help me break down this topic further is Victor Saitabau Lemayian.
Yes.
That's quite a handful. It's a mouthful.
Quite a Maasai name.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being part of this discussion.
Okay.
And you are a political aspirant.
Yes.
And also an aspirant as well as political analyst.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
And we'll just jump straight into our discussion.
Yes.
So we are looking at the role of youth in politics.
Yes. Actually,
yes.
thank you
and
very much.
We know,
yes.
just before that, and we know, we have talked so many times about 70% of our population being youth. And so youth are supposed to be having a voice. Do the youth have that voice?
Actually, thank you very much for having me in your show. As you've asked, youth, do they really have a voice in politics? Actually, as at now, as we speak, currently youth do not really have a voice. They're only there to be seen and to be used politically. Mostly they really don't have a voice. Their voice should be by word, by their views, and also by their vote. But currently, it is minimal. We really don't have a voice as youth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and looking at the youth agenda, the youth agenda has been used for such a long time with the different political years. Let's even start from when we had the new constitution since 2010. So we look at the 2013, then we go to the 2017 elections. So the youth agenda promises to the youth for employment and many other opportunities. Youth agenda has been used a lot politically. So are the youth just being used, and what can they do about it?
Actually, Nelima, one thing I've learned about our current political dispensation, youth mostly have been used as cars to get to places. And the youth agenda has been a dangling carrot. They dangle the carrot like this. We see there are jobs, there are schools, there are new roads, there are laptops, there are good projects for youth. But unfortunately, when, the perceived leaders that we expect that will come and deliver the youth agenda, most of them get there. I don't know whether they forget or they just forgo, or they see that we've already got there and then they don't see the point. But one thing I've learned, the youth agenda has been a myth. It has been something that has been there but not there.
A broken record on repeat.
Yes.
That's how you'd put it.
Exactly. So they're just using us as cars to get where they want, and then we are dropped there. We languish in our joblessness, poverty. We don't have jobs. We cannot even set up a business. So the youth agenda is actually, it's not there. It's just a myth.
And so you are a political aspirant.
Yes.
So then you are getting into politics.
Yes.
So which way are you headed? Given that you are of the view that the youth agenda is non-existent, so then you get into politics. You are hoping to change the statistics?
Actually, for a long time, we as the youth, we've been seeing the youth agenda as one thing which is real. But we've been spectating from far. We are expecting other people to implement what we want. It is high time that most of us as youth, we come up and try to implement this youth agenda. Let's be in the discussion. When they discuss that we are going to give you these jobs, let's be there as they discuss. Let them not go to somewhere, they discuss things that they think, they discuss their businesses, they discuss their positions, and then they say, what carrots can we dangle for you today? Then they come up with them. Those are just sideshows, and then they come dangle for them, and then we flow with it. We need to be there. Why am I joining politics? And I tried it in 2017, and I'm also back. But one thing I've learned, we cannot sit back and wait for people to execute our dreams.
Okay.
It is time for us to come up and do it.
Okay.
And that is why I actually believe when we get there as youth, we can implement what we want as youth.
Yes. And then when we elect leaders, so that means you are a voter as well?
Yes.
So, and when the youth elect leaders, what should they be looking out for?
Actually, that's a hard question, because when I come as an aspirant,
yes,
I will come with all the manifestos, because when politicians make manifestos, it is like a marketing strategy. You make what you base your manifestos based on the problems that people on the ground have.
Yeah.
We as youth, we need to look at track records for some people, more so for those that have been in office. Two, for those that have not been in office, let's look at what visions do they have. What is their ideology? Because one thing, currently some people believe in nothing. They're just there. Even as a leader, they're just there, but they just want votes.
Yeah.
But actually, if you ask them, what do you believe in? Do you believe in youth having this, youth getting jobs? Youth, they have no idea about it. We as voters, let us make sure that we take keenly, let us check on the character of a leader. And based on that, we can actually get the best leaders out of them.
Okay, and we have been voters for a while.
Yeah.
And so then, the leaders that we have right now, who we purport not to be, involving us in the decision making,
Yes.
so they're not working for the youth, is what you imply. So then we elected these leaders, then we blame them. So how does that go?
Okay, we elected them. Okay, the funniest thing is, because I've seen so many people get elected. Some of them get to office, and then for reasons God knows, they change. And sometimes they change for maybe due to what happened on the ground, because currently the Kenyan politics, it is, as voters also we have a problem. Because for me to get your vote, I have to give something. And then when I get to the office, I think I also have to recover what I lost.
So again, that becomes a culture.
That becomes a culture,
okay,
which affects the voter directly, but it also the aspirant who got, the leader who got the votes, is justifying himself that I gave them, but also I'm just trying to recover what I gave them, and then
what I lost,
and then you as the voter is also losing. So which is a bad culture. So one thing I know, as leaders, those who get to office, they should honor their manifestos. And those that don't honor their manifestos, let them not be voted twice. If you don't honor your manifesto for the first term, the second term you should be out of office.
Okay, then so do you think there should be maybe civic education for voters as well? Because if it is a culture, then that means that even if we get in the right leaders, then they will always owe the public something. So when you come and campaign, then people will be like, where's our money? Where's the soda? Actually,
okay, the government at some point with civic education for voters has been low. They always think that voters know how to vote. They come, they give you a voter's card, you have an ID, ukienda huko, just tick the one you want, go dip your finger in the ink, then leave. And before that, civic education should come way before campaigns, because it is in between the campaigns that too much bribery happens, because it is actually voter bribery. If I bribe you today with 200 shillings, then you vote for me. That is actually it is a bad culture, which, okay, as you say, it is a good thing to educate voters on what to do and what not to do, what to take, what to ask for from aspirants and what not to ask for.
Okay.
But actually, currently, the government has not done that, which is a bad culture that we have currently.
And that reminds me of the discussion that we had yesterday.
Yes.
And we're talking about public participation.
Yeah.
And we know that the BBI bill in the counties, it's been passed by 3 counties, rejected by 1 county.
Baringo.
And so one thing that came across is public participation. Because for Homa Bay, Siaya, Kisumu, the bill was passed very fast. So the great concern was public participation implemented?
Okay, one thing I've learned, currently in Kenya, for the BBI, as you say, there has been almost zero public participation because I've been on the ground. Almost zero public participation. And which is people are asked to support what they don't know. Actually, the people on the ground have not read it. Apart from a few elites who can access it via their phones, laptops, people on the ground have no idea. Okay, for the 3 counties that passed it, I don't want to make a perception, but I think, as I heard somewhere, they say that it is perceived that someone read for them and then they passed it.
Because it's surely a probability of having the people in the participating in that public participation, then a good number are going to be youth, since again they form the larger part of the population. So are the youth themselves involved when they are called up for barazas? Do they show up?
One thing I can tell you, since I think Moi era, there has not been any baraza, not even one. There have not been barazas, nowhere.
So when the government says that public participation, due process was done, then is this a lie?
Due process is a myth. It is just a story to cover up the whole thing. But one thing I know, there has not been no public participation on the ground. Maybe if there has been public participation, it is in the county assemblies, inside the county assemblies. Because
where people don't have access.
Where people don't have access. Even the youth themselves. Even today, take a sample of 20 youth. Ask them who was asked what they think about BBI. Even those who have read it, I think you'll get none. I think you'll get none. Okay. Unfortunately.
Let's quickly talk about age, the age culture in this country. Because for young people have been advised, you know, you want to see change, be part of the change.
Exactly.
So young people have been encouraged to go for those positions. But then again, there's always the question of experience. Just like in the job market, you have graduated.
Very true.
You go for the interview, then you're told, you've done well, but we're looking for someone who has 3 to 5 years experience. So there's always that bit of experience, and you are a young person. So the culture of age, is it a big factor?
Elima, I am one victim of the same. I told you I vied in 2017, and as you say, the culture of age. One, what happened to me? It was just after campus. I graduated in 2016. 2017, I was in the election. I was in the ballot box.
That is very ambitious of you.
Okay, it was very ambitious of me, but I think I had a vision about it. So in 2017, I was in the ballot. I went for nominations because I wanted a serious party. I went to Jubilee, went for nominations. I fortunately won. Going to the ballot, now the culture of age came up. It was said, you are young, you're not married, when you get this position, you will just go and hang out. And
so they don't see you as responsible enough.
They don't see you as responsible enough to take up leadership positions. And one thing that has killed the leadership of this country is this recycling of leaders, which I think even if today you recycle, if you use land, if you till this land today for the next 10 years, you plant maize for the next 10 years, I think from then you'll start bringing up
the land itself gets tired.
Yeah, you'll get some very small maize, which that is what we are getting. The leaders we have, we've recycled them too much. I think until it is time, we need to get fresh blood into the system. Just the same as you're saying. Today you come out of campus, you really know how to do the job. You asked, do you have 10 years experience? Where can you get 10 years experience? Not unless, if from today, when you get to campus, you start working. When we get to campus, maybe if we make a legislation that once I get to campus, my first year, let my experience start there. Maybe we legislate that way. But as at now, this culture of age, it is really affecting the youth. Because you can do a job far much better than those that are in. Those that are older than you. Your skills are far much sharper than theirs. You can efficiently work more than them, but you cannot be given the job due to your age and due to your lack of experience, which is a disservice, and it is really bad to the youth.
Okay, so there is need to look at what someone can do and not just how long they have been doing it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I don't write off the experience thing, because
It's an important factor.
It is a good thing, because there are some things that those people that have been in office for a long time, they can do more. But I think currently in Kenya, we need young workforce down, and then the far much experienced wakwe wachache juu. Because right now, there's far much, they are too experienced, all of them, and then the young ones are not there. They are out there, but they are skilled. That's why you find sometimes people work in an office, they are hacked and they're in there. I hack them and I'm out there. Then why should you jail me for hacking your system? You should employ me. Employ me to improve your system. Because that is, okay, I think that could help the system.
So, and talking about opportunities, and the promise for creation of employment, so that now we are many years into the the failed promises for employment, because as it stands right now, the rate of unemployment in Kenya is very high. So then, what can the youth do?
Currently, the rate of unemployment is quite high, and this has been caused due to the leadership that we have in this country. Since 2017, we came to election, we were promised so many jobs, and then down the line, we didn't have political stability. Then we've based our joblessness to the political stability, and then I think the handshake came. I don't know whether it brought political stability. Then I still don't see jobs, but it is up to, because currently we tell the youth, go employ yourself. But why don't we tell these older people, leave office, go and employ yourself? Because right now, if someone comes out of campus, how can they start employing themselves? Do they have capital? Let this person in the office almost retire and let them go home, because they already have capital.
So you want to flip that script.
Yeah,
like those who've been there, then they can go start out their thing. They can go
and then
give opportunity to the new blood.
Yes, because these people have no resources to even invest. Maybe they have the ideas, yes, but they cannot get themselves jobs. Some can, but you cannot push the narrative of self-employment to all youth.
There's a large population.
There's a large population. We will run out of ideas. But one thing I know, currently the government has to work more, because currently we are only working on how to consume, but not how to produce. We have less industries. We always import everything. But we should empower. The government should legislate that some things should not be imported. Let us locally produce them until we have no more, so that we can create more companies too.
But we also have the made in Kenya, buy Kenya, build Kenya. That is one way to promote our own products.
Yeah, we have that, but we also have a challenge as Kenyans. We tend to think things from abroad are better than
what we ourselves produce.
That what we produce. But it is not really true. One thing I know, as Kenyans, we should support Kenyans. And the government can control that through legislation. We can say we don't bring a certain item from anywhere. We will still need it. Demand will still be there. And supply will be from Kenya. You will have to take it. So the government can control and make sure that most youth get employed. So one thing I believe, Kenya we have not run out of jobs. It is only that we need to work around ourselves and make sure that we have jobs.
Okay, then I would like to pick your thoughts on the Building Bridges Initiative bill and the section about youth. So there is the youth going to be given a tax holiday for 6 years. 6 years. And then there seems to be a catch, according to how many people are complaining, that then the business has to have a certain turnover. What are your thoughts on the thing?
In the BBI, because I've had time to read it, they're saying they'll give us youth a tax holiday of 7 years until then you must have such a turnover. But they will not base it on that, because if my company today is making, if today I'm making maybe 200,000 shillings and then I make profits of 50,000, then I'm also entitled to a tax holiday, just as the other one who is making 5 million and then he has a profit of this, then making not also remitting taxes. that should not apply to us, to youth. But one thing I know, that is a good clause for the youth. But it should not be a dangling carrot also to us to vote the BBI. It should be something that should be implemented. But I'm reserved about this BBI as going to vote. Because some of these clauses in the BBI are things that we can pass in Parliament. Okay, voting for the BBI will be costly for the country. It is a good thing. The document is good. It has good views and good ways for the country. It will shape up so many things, shared prosperity, so many things in the country. But one thing I know, the BBI is a good document, but there are so many things that we can pass in Parliament, but not necessarily going to vote for it. So just to have an uncontested referendum.
Okay.
Yeah, actually.
So then implementation of former promises to the youth is what you feel should be handled first before other promises.
Exactly. Because, you know, Nelima, so far in the previous constitution, I don't know whether we've implemented over even 50% or 40%. We've implemented very little of it. Today we want something new, yet even the old one, we've not finished it. I don't know whether implementation will be done. We can have a really nice document, but it will be there in the shelves. But we don't implement it. It will be as good as useless. Because today we bring something new, and then we don't implement. It's like me buying a car, I don't have the capacity to drive it, but it will just be costly for no reason. 14 billion is too much for Kenyans right now. And then we are struggling. 14 billion can do too many classes, too many hospitals, but some things in there, it will be costly for us not to implement. But I believe in the country system. If all these things work in the BBI and they're implemented, it will serve the country well.
Okay. Yeah. And let us talk a little bit about Political Parties Act.
Yes.
But we have to take a short break.
Exactly.
Then we'll be back with the same.
Okay.
We are taking a short break here on Bottomline Kenya, but we'll be back. Don't go too far.
Look Up TV. Hope to the world.
Do you think it's time for the youth to take up leadership positions? And if yes, then how do they go about it? With me on set, just like before the break, is Saitabau Lemayian. I got that right.
Thank you.
Yes, and we are talking about the role of youth in politics. And just before the break, I had mentioned the Political Parties Act.
Yes.
And we have that act, and it's supposed to, ensure there's mentorship for the people who are part of the party, amongst other things. So let's think about it in the different political parties that we have. The role, are their roles implemented?
Actually, for now, in the Political Parties Act is an act of parliament that was created to regulate mostly the political parties and to shape up so that they can have something they can refer to as political parties. In mentorship for the youth, it is actually almost zero because nothing has happened so far to the advantage of the youth. There's nothing so far that has happened. It is actually they should encourage youth more to come up with parties. Like for me today to come up with a party, I don't know. I think as a youth, it is actually a bit expensive for you to come up with a party. You need a lot of signatures. You need some amount of money.
And that's a very big question because if the youth then complain about not being heard in the different political parties, why can't the youth come together and form a political party that solely represents the youth and has the youth factor in it?
Yeah, that's right. Currently, as a youth, we have different ideologies, and youth can come up with a party. But now I don't know for how long can we call that party youth party? Because if today, me as a youth, they come up with a party, it will be for me, and then I don't know, I will hand it over to maybe to the other youth that are coming. But most of the youth cannot come up with a party currently because of the cost of coming up with a party, and also the logistics in between the bureaucracies in between there to come up with a party. It is actually too hard for you to come up with a party currently as a youth.
Okay.
It is hard. But unless if youth can pull up their resources and come up together, with a common idea, that can work. It is
Okay.
workable. But now, you know, currently youth also have the inclination. You incline to a certain leader
Yeah.
who has his party. You cannot fund your own campaign. This leader can fund. So most youth will find themselves joining someone's party because they cannot support the functions of this party to the end, to making up a leader, or to voting someone to parliament, or even to the county assembly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even now, looking at the leaders in the political sphere,
Yes.
say the president, deputy, former prime minister,
Yes.
and many other leaders,
Yes.
they are way over 35, which is where the mark for the youth, that's where it stops. So then the big question would be, are they grooming people, young people, to take up after them?
Nelima, so far in Kenya, very few leaders have groomed up leaders to take over after them. Why? I think most leaders so far, they think about themselves more than they think about the generation after them. And you know, okay, I read somewhere that as a leader, if you don't groom up someone to become, your leadership is as good as gone.
True.
It is just as good as
Because
gone.
if you then have the interest of the public
Yes.
at heart,
Yes.
then you need to ensure that there's going to be sustainability even when you're gone.
Exactly. Because if there is no sustainability, if even today in a business, there's something called going concern. If today you make up a business and then by tomorrow it will not be there, there's no point of view having a business. So today, if leaders don't groom up, people will take after them. They don't need to be in office. But even me today, if I become a leader, I think I need to take up someone after me, because we are not mountains. Human beings are not mountains. Like you saw other leaders, they come, they finish their term, they have no one to take after them. Then any Tom, Dick and Harry just comes, take over, then takes.
So is the dream whichever way?
So if you are driving to the right, to the south, now it is to the west or east, then that it will water down what you even did.
Okay, and
previously.
could it also be a problem with the youth that they're not putting themselves in a position where they can be molded into better leaders?
Actually, that is true. Why? Because most of us as youth currently, we at least we are not so far up to the task to take up the mantle. Most of us are reserved about politics and leadership. Most of us are like, let them decide who they want.
And where are the youth reserved?
That is the youth so far have seen that, okay, we are voting, we get those people we want. But if you want change to happen, you have to be part of the change. Because today you expect us to come and sit in this table. We are in this table, we are saying we are going to give so and so this, we are going to give Nelima 2 eggs, we are going to give Victor bread, we are going to give Rachel an apple, we are going to give, let's say someone called Peter, we are going to give him 10 cows. Then you will be on the table. You say, why are you giving me an orange and you're giving me that and this? So we have to be on the table for some change to happen.
Okay.
We cannot expect other people to bring the change that we want. I cannot, like you saw when they said there was this quote that says, I cannot speak for the Jews because I'm not a Jew. No one can speak for you when you're not there.
Sure.
So we as youth, we need to be in and concerned of these things. We need to be in that table when they discuss that we are going to give these positions to these people. We also need to ask, why are you giving a 92-year-old person this position while there is this youth who is 35 and can take up the position?
Okay, and the president explained himself very well when there was that uproar.
Actually.
And he said that you give young people a position, they loot. They take the money. So is that a perception or is that a reality?
No, that's a perception, because there are so many good youth in this country. So many good youth that are saving the nation. You have seen so many good youth who are whistleblowers, who have seen people looting and they came and said, so and so is looting. So not all youth are thieves. They are, okay, we say in every market there must be a madman. And there are also very old men who are thieves that have even looted the country badly, more than the youth. So that was just a perception. But one thing I know, youth can do more because they know they still have time. Just like the other day, I was following up the Uganda's political
Yes.
proceedings. And I saw Museveni won, Bobby Wine lost. But I liked what he said. He said, okay, today you've won, but one thing I thank God, you have the leadership, you have the leadership today, but I thank God I have time. We youth, we have time, but some of those who are ahead of us don't have that time. So we as a youth, if we get there, I think we'll take more care, because we are still here to see ourselves and our children suffer.
Okay.
Unlike some of those who are way older than us.
Okay, so then it's time for the youth to jump in, and not wait any further, since then they would get experience.
Exactly.
Either way.
Exactly, because nobody will call you, and I can assure you, Nelima, even today, even if someone sees you are very capable, nobody will come and tell you, Nelima, please come, you are capable, do this. Don't wait.
Get a position yourself.
Get a position, fight for it. You better lose it after fighting for it. There's no, okay, I better lose after looking for it, but not lose by just sitting. You lose, like not making a decision is firm.
It's already a decision you've made not to make a decision.
Exactly, and you've already failed. Yeah.
Okay.
Just like I say, failing to plan is
Planning to fail.
Planning to fail. Exactly.
Okay, so and then the youth themselves, then we want to be part of where the food is being served,
Yeah, exactly.
where decisions are being made, where resources are being distributed. Yes, so and we can only do that through the voting process. So then now that we're here, just 16, 17 months to the general elections, then what should the youth be doing now ahead of the 2022 elections?
One, I can advise the youth that, because we are not really far from the elections, that is why you can see everyone up on the streets campaigning, asking winning voters that I'll be the best candidate. We as the youth, because we are majority of the voters, we are majority. If we decide this thing goes south, it will go south. If we decide west, it will go west. But if we sit back, one, don't take up IDs, don't take up voting cards, don't show up in the polling station that day, don't vote. We have already made a decision for ourselves. And if you don't vote today, because you say, I don't want to vote, you've already decided that let the bad leader that you hate choose himself or herself. Because today if you say, I don't want to vote because so-and-so is bad, or so all of them are bad, come and choose the one you like. Because if you don't come, the bad ones will choose themselves. You are the good one, then come and choose the good one. If you are bad, the bad ones will go and choose the bad one. So we as youth, one, take up your IDs. Because so many in Mashinani, so many youth don't have IDs. They don't have voting cards. Most of them don't show up to vote. Because if there is a big queue, it's a scorching sun, you'll feel tired, just come up and vote. It is a decision you make for yourself for the next 5 years.
Okay.
It is not a 2 weeks time. And then that decision for 5 years might affect you for the rest of your life.
Directly.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think that's, if the youth can take up that, it will make a difference in this country.
So being part of the process itself.
Exactly. Being part of the process. Not only part of the process, but be part of the process and choose wisely. Don't just choose a leader because he gave you 200 shillings. If they give you 200, because leaders come and woo you, they want to bribe you, take up the 200 shillings, eat it. But vote using your head. Use your stomach to vote. I think your stomach will just use for one day.
And you will always need food.
And you will always need food. If it's soda you take, just go after
Quenches
that.
your thirst, then you'll still be thirsty some other day.
So, but if you choose a good leader today, you'll not get the 200 shillings, fine, but you'll get good schools, you'll get good roads, you'll get infrastructure, you'll get water.
So it's about looking at the bigger picture.
Exactly. Take the bigger picture. The soda might be maybe for the interaction, maybe today I call you for a chat, then we share soda, fine. But use your head to vote, not your stomach.
Okay, and now we have a good number of young leaders. We have Babu Wino in Embakasi, we have Langata MP, we even have a Nandi governor. Yes, we have a Nandi governor as a young person.
Yes.
Is this a sign of Kenya being ready for leaders who are young?
Nelima, yes, I can agree to that. Those are young leaders. They really fought up. I know they didn't get it easy.
Yeah.
I know. They didn't get it easy. These are signs that anything is possible. Following the Kipchoge's slogan, no human is limited.
Yeah.
It is an actual testimony to that. But also one thing I've learned so far, we as youth, we can get positions.
Yeah.
They have got positions, but we as youth, we need to guard the name of the youth. Because today, if one of us, because like where I come from, if one youth today does one thing, it is all of you. So we as youth, that when you get these positions, let us guard the name of the youth.
So the reputation.
Yeah, the
One
reputation.
person represents the whole.
That's why, you know, in our Maasai culture, is when they say, if one cow stirs water, all of them have done that. If one cow steps into water, you cannot say this did. All of them did that.
Yeah.
So, actually, we need to guard our reputation as youth more than we can guard anything else.
Okay.
Actually.
And when you talk about empowering the youth and mentoring the youth, then in terms of the political sphere, then is it time for the conversation to be about how youth can come up with resources to fund their campaigns? Because you can empower youth, and just how they can be better leaders, what areas they can focus on. But then if the youth then don't have the resources to campaign, then that is a huge burden in their advance as they get into politics.
As I told you, I tried politics and I have had hands-on experience with this. I campaigned without money. I started my campaign with a motorbike, which didn't have headlights. It was
operating at night.
Actually, that's at your own time I'll show you a picture of that bike. Actually, it was embarrassing going with it, but I was so focused that I could not see what I was using to get where I wanted to get. It is a real challenge that youth do not have resources to campaign, and it is a disadvantage to them. And youth, most of them cannot come up with resources to fund themselves to some point. But you know, in the Political Parties Act, there is political parties should fund their candidates.
Yeah.
But funding also does not come this way. There are some inroads there that you need to know so and so, to know so and so, so that you can get this. So, but youth can help each other. And if I can advise today youth, if a youth comes out to vie, help them, fund them, make a meeting for them. Don't ask them to pay the bills for that meeting. Because actually for me, I had friends. I called them, I told them, man, campaign, I've run down.
I needed money.
I don't have money. I cannot even fuel this. I was donated a car. I was given a car. Then I cannot even fuel this car. They came up, they pulled up some cash, and then it helped me for the next few months.
So then the support.
It was support.
The support is very important.
Youth can support themselves
to
get where they want to go. As long as you have and you believe in the ideology and you share vision with the person vying, please fund, because the youth do not have resources to get themselves to where they have the idea and the vision, but they don't have resources to get themselves there. One thing I know today, if you decide to buy, it is costly in Kenya.
Yeah.
It is really costly in Kenya.
Yeah, we get the budgets are off the roof.
And I saw there was a legislation that said that we need to cap the amount of money that we can use for campaigns. Yes, we can do that, but I remember me vying. One of my competitors told me, kijana, uko na milioni 15 kama yangu.
Whoa.
I felt like quitting the race.
That was a huge threat. You're like,
I told him, let's face on. And what shocked me, he didn't get the votes I had. And he didn't have the 15 million. So, actually, one thing I believe, Kenyans also are coming up.
So then, now that you brought that up, then there can be strategy.
Yes.
strategy on how to go about campaigning,
Yes.
even when you don't have resources to match the other candidates.
It is true. That is very possible. For as long as you have an ideology,
Okay.
sell yourself to the electorates. Also, just tell them that you don't have resources, but you have the idea. Kenyans nowadays, as one politician is fond of saying, iko na upungufu ya wajinga. Currently, there's a shortage of fools in the country. They know where they want to go. You'll bring your cash to some point, it might lack who. It will just moves to the air, but
Yeah.
you might not get those votes. And that's a warning shot to other aspirants who want to vote.
Okay.
Let them not just think money is everything, but it is something.
True. It's a means to an end.
It's a means.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
And you mentioned political parties are supposed to support their candidates.
Yes.
And we looked at ODM. They advertised
Yes.
that they're looking for a presidential candidate.
Okay.
And the presidential candidate has to satisfy a couple of qualifications that they had listed down.
Yes.
And then one of the qualifications that stood out is then that the candidate has to bring in $1 million.
Yes.
So political parties are supposed to support their candidates, but here you are as a political aspirant, you're expected to bring in $1 million shillings. So for a lot of youth, is that a reality?
Okay, it is not only on ODM, it is to all parties. Like for me, I vied in Jubilee. One thing I thank Jubilee, because I still subscribe to Jubilee. I thank Jubilee, they capped it. Because for me to become an MCA, I had to pay 50,000 for me to be registered as an aspirant to get to the ballot. So they said for anyone less than 35 years, you will pay half. So I paid 25,000. That is a requirement for the parties.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, they funded to some point our campaigns. They funded the campaigns way to a tune beyond the 25,000.
Okay.
So that is just a formality for the party.
Okay. Then does that support the youth, young candidates who do not have the resources?
It does not. It is not. It is not a good advice, but it is a requirement for the parties, which can be amended. That any youth below the age of 35 can be exempted from that. But also, for you to step up and say that you want leadership, you must measure up to some point. To show some seriousness, we can find every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Then you say you show seriousness with some amount of money.
Not with some amount of money. One thing I know, for you as a leader, you have to measure up.
You have to prove yourself. But then, so you're saying you have to prove yourself financially for you to be considered.
Using resources.
Okay. So is that a good culture?
Because the party, if even the party can give you, yes, a leeway to go, and you cannot even make 2 million. You cannot make a meeting here, make it there, because you'll still use resources. It is justifiable for the party.
Okay.
It is justifiable.
So
But
does that solve the problem of the youth who do not have the
It does not
resources?
solve.
Okay.
But that's where we come up with this idea that youth should support each other. A youth, let's be youth for youth. If today I'm vying and they need 50,000, let me call up all my youth, tell them I am vying, I don't have the 50,000, help me. Actually, I think that will help the idea.
Okay.
But so far, changing the party's position about youth and other aspirants chipping in some amount to a bit hard.
Okay. And as even we conclude,
Yes.
then we have to touch a bit on violence. The youth have been used for so long as pawns in the political game. We saw the other day in January as former minister or prime minister was campaigning in Githurai. Yes,
Actually.
there was a lot of chaos that went down, smashing of windscreens. Yeah. So the youth have been used in violence, political violence, for such a long time. Is there an end to this?
Elima, very many youth have been used as political tools. They are bribed, given 200 shillings, bought shanga, asked, like, did you see the lady in, I don't know where it was that got hurt, and then she was mentioning a politician told us to come and disrupt this meeting, then they will pay me 1,000 shillings. It is just the same case. Why I was saying I like the BBI document, there is this clause of integrity. It says that we as a country must have integrity as a people. And one thing the youth must learn, your integrity will take you anywhere you want to go. And as youth, there might not be jobs up to the near future, maybe even forever, but it does not justify you to do bad things.
Okay.
It does not justify.
Okay, so your last thoughts in very few seconds, because we have to finish up.
Actually.
So the youth make 70% of the population.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, just like women make a huge number of the population.
Yes.
But then people always ask, then why can't we have a woman as a leader? So for this, in the same line, youth make 70% of the population. So why can't we have a youth president, a youth woman rep, youth MP, senator, governor, for all these positions? Since we form a large part of the population, why not have leaders cut across all these positions?
One, Elima, just to wind up, it is really possible. Youth are many, women are many, but one thing I know, leadership in the current democracy, we vote for leaders. We don't just pick them. Youth can vote for a youth to become a senator, president, a women rep.
Okay.
It is possible. But for now, in this democracy, let us always get the best. I'll ask the youth, it is not a must for us to choose a youth. It is not a must. Let us always choose the best leaders, because we can choose a best old man as a leader, and he or that old man will come and help the youth to propel them ahead. Like I saw Kibaki. Kibaki was a bit old, but to me, he did the best to this country. He was a very good leader.
So it's about what someone can do for the country.
Yeah, actually. So I will either you to choose the best, see their integrity, see their ideologies, see what they believe. If their ideologies and their principles do not match what can help this country, let us know. Even if it is a youth, even if it is me, if my principles do not suit what can help the country, you better don't choose it.
And reputation as well, because then your record has to speak for you.
Actually, your reputation is everything.
Okay.
It speaks for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of the discussion.
Thank you.
That has been Victor Saitabau Lemayian, who is a political aspirant and a political analyst as well. We have come to the end of Bottomline Kenya. I am Nancy Nalima. Thank you so much for watching.